This is the USAACE-8, 8 minutes with an Army aviation subject matter expert. Let's fly with the topic, what is the USAACE-8 Podcast? That's the baseline introduction you will hear at the beginning of every USAACE-8 podcast. Fast-paced and concise, an effort to get to what's really important, the content. Our goal is to provide topics for the entire range of Army aviation professionals. Topics for the maintainers and flight engineers, the air traffic controllers and UAS drivers, the brand new flight student, and the standardization pilot. We are focused on the here and now, what's implemented versus what's coming. When new doctrine is published, you should hear from the doctrine proponent on what's changed and why. When the schoolhouse changes how it trains your soldiers, you should hear the how and why. When something substantial changes across the U.S. Army aviation enterprise, you should hear about it. And you get to influence what topics are presented. Email your ideas to army.usace8@mail.mil. Don't worry, the email address is listed with every episode description. An editorial committee from the U.S. Army Aviation Center of Excellence, your official podcast producer and sponsor, will consider your topics as they meet quarterly to recommend topics to the Army Aviation Branch Chief. Of course, you will occasionally hear from the branch leadership, the CG, Chief Warrant Officer, and Command Sergeant Major. But most of our speakers will come from the planners, doctrine writers, and change leaders across the Army aviation enterprise. Finally, the format. USAACE is proud to bring you this new short-form, bi-weekly aviation professional development podcast. While longer USAACE podcasts are possible, they will depend entirely on your input and the complexity of requested topics. But USAACE-8 episodes will run 8 minutes max. 8 minutes to distill topics down to their core. 8 minutes from the time you click play until the end. 8 minutes max, no fluff. And this concludes the introductory episode of the USAACE-8, brought to you by the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence.